Hey guys, this is Miss Briscoe here with your opinion writing lesson for this week. So this week and today in this lesson, we're going to be learning how to take the opinions that we created and the support and evidence that we found to support our opinions. We're going to take all of that information and we're going to turn it into an opinion writing piece, an opinion essay. And this way we can explain to our readers and we can inform other people about our opinion on a certain topic. And so I'm going to refer back to our scale that we learned about in our previous live lesson that told us what we would be learning about with opinion writing and what the requirements are. And so if you notice, our main scales goal is to write an opinion piece on topic or texts, supporting a point of view with reasons and information. And so there's 4 different parts to our learning goal. We need to introduce a topic or text clearly, state our opinion, and create an organizational structure in which ideas are logically grouped to support the writer's purpose. We are going to be doing that today. We are going to be introducing our topic, stating our opinion, and providing all of the reasons and support in a logical order. So we're going to be hitting A and B today. C and D will come later on this week, but B and A will be in today's lesson. And remember that our learning scale is a progression of our learning. We're not expected to be at a 3.0 just after one lesson. And 3.0 is our target. So if you look in your scale, and it's also going to be attached in the lesson, these are our target goals for opinion writing. Now, these are stepping stones to get there. We have to go from a 0 to a 1 to a 2 to a 3 as we slowly learn about opinion writing. And some of us may even get to a 4 for this. So this is your scale. So take a look at it before and after you write your opinion piece to make sure that you're on the right track and have some of the requirements that you need to meet this learning goal as we're learning about opinion writing throughout our unit. So this is the opinion Oreo writing graphic organizer that we completed. We started to complete in our live lesson last week, and then on your own it was your responsibility to finish completing it. So we came up with an opinion, which was that we think schools should not have students switch in elementary school, switch classes. And we found one reason along with evidence to support our reason. And your job was to find 2 more reasons with evidence and the conclusion. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be taking this graphic organizer and turning it into an essay. And so we're going to start off with our introductory paragraph of our essay. And in your introductory paragraph, you grab your reader. You want to let them know what you're writing about, grab their attention. You want to state your opinion, and you want to lead into your essay. So the first thing that we always write when we do an introductory paragraph is a grabber. And so if you look here on the screen, I have some examples of a grabber, and this is also going to be in the lesson as well. And so some ways that we can start off is we can ask a question. We can do a sound effect. So maybe if you're writing a story, but we're writing a opinion piece, so we're not going to do a sound effect. You can do a flashback, so describe a past event. You know, if you've switched classes before, describing a past event might be a great idea. Exciting verbs. You know, I flew out of bed and raced to the room. A snapshot of a small moment. You could go back to a snapshot of a time when you did change classes or didn't change classes. So these are all the different ways that you can introduce your topic. So we're going to start off, I'm going to start off with a grabber. I'm going to indent my paragraph, and I'm going to start off with a question. And I'm going to ask a question that has to do with switching classes because that's what our essay is going to be about. So my question is going to be, have you ever had more than one teacher in a school year? So this is my question. Have you ever had more than one teacher in a school year? Now I need to lead into what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to say, well, I have, let me add my comma, well, I have, and it was a very busy and crazy year. So I've asked a question, I've kind of answered it a little bit, got my reader thinking about, oh, what is this paper going to be about? Now I need to state my opinion, which is that I don't think students should switch classes in elementary school. So I'm going to state my opinion. I've grabbed my reader's attention. I'm going to state my opinion and introduce my topic. So now I'm going to write my opinion. Based on my experience and, if I could spell it right, experience and the articles I read on this topic, students should not switch classes in elementary school. So I have introduced my subject, my topic, and I stated my opinion. This is kind of like your rough draft. We're going to be doing some editing to this next week, so it's okay if you misspell things, if you have, the capitalization's not there, that's okay, because we will be working on this, editing this later on in the week. So far I have you ever had more than one teacher in a school year? Well, I have, and it was a very busy and crazy year. Based on my experience and the articles I read on this topic, students should not switch classes in elementary school. So my introductory paragraph is almost done. Now I need to lead into what my essay, my reasons are. So what you want to do is you want to give some of your reasons that you have chosen from the article. And so one of our reasons is that they don't have enough bonding time with their teacher. Some of the other reasons that you could have pulled from the article, so this was the articles, that we had 3 articles that we were looking at. Some of the other reasons that were found in the articles that you could have chosen is that it takes away from instructional time because students are having to pack up and switch classrooms, the bonding with the teachers have to, worry about hurrying up their lessons because they don't have enough time. So there's all kinds of different reasons that you could have chosen. So I'm just going to briefly list some of those reasons. I'm not going to go into detail because you go into detail with your articles. I'm just going to briefly explain some of my reasons. So when students switch classes in elementary school, they do not get enough bonding time with a teacher and also have busy schedules that take away from their instructional time. Students, in my opinion, students lose out on their learning. So this is my first introductory paragraph. I have created a grabber. So if you look in here, this right here would be my grabber. Okay, so that's the first requirement. My second requirement is I have stated my opinion. So this is my opinion. I've stated my opinion. And then I've also gone in and I've added in some reasons. So some of my reasons, I've added those in. And then the last little bit is I've ended my paragraph with my conclusion sentence. Because remember, every paragraph needs to have an introductory sentence, a conclusion sentence, and details in the middle. It's like a sandwich. So those are all the different parts of my paragraph. So I want you to make sure that you have all of these when you go to write your introductory paragraph. So now it's time for me to write my first paragraph, which is going to be reason number 1. So now in my first paragraph, I'm going to be explaining about reason number 1, giving my details and starting to argue or to show why I think my opinion is correct. So I'm going to be starting a new paragraph, which means that I need to give another introductory sentence. So if I look over at my Oreo chart, my reason is that students should not switch classes because they do not have enough bonding time with their teacher. That is what I want to have in my introductory sentence because that's showing what I'm going to be talking about in this paragraph. Remember, your introductory sentence explains to your reader what your paragraph is going to be about. So I'm going to find a way to turn that statement into a sentence to introduce my paragraph. So students should not switch classes because they do not have enough bonding time with the teacher. So I'm going to write, one of the reasons I believe that students should not switch classes in elementary school is because they do not have enough bonding time with their teacher. I've introduced my paragraph. Now I need to give my details. And my details are going to be my evidence. So we collected evidence from the article. And we can quote some of this evidence, and we can also paraphrase some of it. So remember, the difference between quoting and paraphrasing is when you quote, you are actually writing word for word what the author wrote, and you're putting it inside quotation marks. When you paraphrase, you're taking what the author wrote and you're putting it in your own words. When we quote and paraphrase, we still have to cite the author. So we got our quotes from source 3. We took some paragraphs out of the first two, or some sentences out of the first two paragraphs of this. So our article is titled One Student, One Teacher by Lucille Ruby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cite this article. So I'm going to say, according to Lucille Ruby, and I'm going to put a comma. Now I've cited my author. Now I need to find out what information do I want to get. It says, by staying in one classroom with one teacher for the whole day, the youngest students can bond with their teachers. The connection with their teacher gives the young student confidence and creates a safe environment for learning. Students, however, do not get to bond with their teachers when they are only with each teacher for a short period of time. So I have lots of information here. I'm going to use those first two sentences. I'm going to quote the first sentence because I think it's a really good quote, and then I'm going to paraphrase the second sentence. So according to Lucille Ruby, by staying in one classroom with one teacher for the whole day, the youngest students can bond with their teachers. And then I'm going to end quotations. I've quoted one of my pieces of evidence and I've said who did it. Now, who wrote it, sorry, not who did it, who wrote it, which was Lucille Ruby. So now I'm going to take that second piece of evidence, which is the connection with the teacher, give the students confidence and creates a safe environment for learning. I need to turn that into my own words. So I'm going to say this allows students to have a deep bond with their teacher, which provides encouragement and confidence for them. So I'm going to explain what I did here. So I paraphrase. It says the connection with the teacher gives the student confidence and creates a safe environment for learning. So I've taken part of that and I've paraphrased it. And I said this allows students to have a deep bond with their teacher, which provides encouragement and confidence for them. The reason I put confidence inside quotations is because she actually wrote the word confidence. And if I were to write that word without, giving her the credit, then it would be plagiarizing, and we don't want to plagiarize. So I've given my reason. I have given my pieces of evidence. Now I need to sum up in my own words why I think this is important. And this is where I can go back to my own experiences. And I can explain that I missed out on having a bond with one teacher in elementary school because I had 6 teachers and I never got to bond with any of them because I was switching with them so much that I never got a real close bond. So I'm going to put that into some words that help support this. So I'm going to say, in my own experiences, I was never able to bond with my teachers in 4th and 5th grade. I was constantly switching classes. This made me feel unimportant at school. So what I have done is I have taken my opinion and my reasons, and I've also I've summed up how this makes me feel since this piece is on my opinion. And I said, I was constantly switching classes. This made me feel unimportant at school. And I also said, in my own experiences, I was never able to bond with the teacher in 4th and 5th grade because those are the grades that I switched classes. So I have stated my reason, I've given evidence, and I've given my own personal feelings. And I've summed it up that this made me feel unimportant at school, that I didn't have a bond with my teacher. And so I'm going to end my paragraph and say this is why this is one of the reasons. I believe that students should not switch classes. So now I have done my first 2 paragraphs. I've done my introductory paragraph and I've done my first paragraph. I'm not going to do the whole essay because you guys each have your own reasons and you have your own graphic organizers. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to write your essay all the way up to your last paragraph. You're not going to write your last paragraph. We are going to write that on Friday. So for today, you want to write your first paragraph, which is your introductory paragraph, and your 3 middle paragraphs, which are your 3 reasons with evidence. So you're going to do that today. Make sure you have the requirements. Focus on your paragraph structure and focus on citing your evidence from your sources. Remember, if you're citing your sources, then you need to be listing either the author or the title and the author. So there's 3 different sources here. So if you're using a source, you need to make sure you're citing it. And I've also attached in the lesson below that the phrases that we can use to cite an author and to cite our evidence. This will all be in the lesson below, so you have this to go by as an example. But please make sure that you have met all the requirements. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions and use your learning scale to make sure that you're on the right track. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.